G'day guys and welcome to the Centre Bounce for another Monday night live stream. It's a different sort of live stream tonight because we have a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a winner and it is the Brisbane Lions. Can you believe it? I don't know. Don't know what's going on. For some reason, all of a sudden my camera's being really wide view and I look tiny now as a result. And if I'm not careful with how I am presenting my screen, for example, if I just simply have it as no screen, you can now see the edges of my green screen. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happened, but yeah, let's just go back to the screen again. Hope we're all having a wonderful evening. Hope you all had a wonderful grand final weekend. Hope you all enjoyed the long weekend, that you had a great time. It was glorious weather to witness an absolute demolition. Big J will be on very shortly, momentarily actually. So thanks all for coming along and congratulations to all the Brisbane Lions supporters. DR is up and about. Binny Boy from Supercoach Insider also up and about. So really happy for those two fine gentlemen. G'day, Henry V. Who won? Well, mate, they won in a big way, the Lions, and it looked to be, I don't know, maybe we'll wait for more people to jump on or something to talk about the game, but far out. It's hard to praise the Lions without at the same time bashing Sydney's performance at the same time. It's really hard to distinguish between the two of them because Sydney almost didn't rock up at all. Sydney almost didn't even try to make it a game. It was really surprising how timid they were with the ball. Like, honestly, it felt like anyone who played Sydney on grand final day could have beaten them. It just felt like that. It could have, honestly, and it sucks to say that because it takes away from Brisbane, who were great. I thought Brisbane were amazing, genuinely amazing, I thought. But at the same time, you can't help but feel that anyone who played the Swans on the weekend were going to be absolutely amazing because they were horrible. They were genuinely terrible. Hey, Travis, congratulations to you, Trav. Congratulations, mate. So happy for you as well. Go Lions and Fagan we trust. Only problem is David King didn't say he was wrong about Fagan. Well, stuff him. The proof is in the pudding, Travis. You don't need to wait for David King to apologize. It doesn't even matter. He's now holding a premiership cup. That was really good. Can't wait to Causa. Good to see you on the Friday night, Causa. Thank you once again for coming to the Fancast live show. It was great to see you. Can't wait to get Grace Campbell to Randall, Thomas to Heads, and Guerin to Georgie Prespakis, meaning that you've got 6 double game players and you're ranked 227 overall. You're going for the money, Causa. You're going for the car. You're going for the ute, mate. Don't just go for a cap. Go for the ute, mate. You can do it. What a shit show, the grand final. Yeah, the grand final was a bit of a shit show. I mean, it's from a neutral perspective, you're right. From a neutral perspective, it was quite disappointing, really, what the Swans dished out. Now, obviously, like the Lions clearly had the guts, the resilience. We've spoken about it so much. The way that you don't just come back from 44 points down if you're nobody, right? You have to clearly be good. And the way they fought through last week, the week before in the prelim against the Cats, it just showed that this is a different Brisbane to the Brisbane of previous years that fell short. This was clearly a better side. But you just thought that the Swans with their run, we just open up in a new tab. Like, if you just looked at their finals, the Swans, yep, tough fight against the Giants, but they won. They then got the week off, prelim, where they comfortably dealt with Port Adelaide, again, at home. So you're thinking they're going to walk into this grand final with an abundance of people to choose from. And man, Horse Longmire, why did you pick McDonald, mate? Why did you pick Logan McDonald? He just was a non-factor. Absolute non-factor in that game. Brent Daniels did save the Lions season. Man, Brent Daniels playing on... To think that we've got the premiers in Brisbane, courtesy of Brent Daniels playing on wild kick, top of the goal square, missing, and all of a sudden now Brisbane are premiers. Wow, that is just ridiculous. That is ridiculous to think of. In a gazillion different universes, GWS kick that goal and Brisbane are out. Fast forward 2 weeks later, and the Lions win. Unreal. Unbelievable. And if Starcevic never got injured in the warm-up, Logan Morris wouldn't have played. And Logan Morris has been unreal. Logan Morris was, ever since this kid came in, he was so good. The fact that he played with boots that were too small for him after playing VFL, and he still performed as well as he did, Logan Morris absolutely deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. G'day, Vela. Good to see you, my friend. Well, that was a boring grand final, and congrats Brisbane and Ashcroft. Absolutely. It was. Look, for me, I didn't want the Swans to win. Just going to put my bias out there. I didn't want the Swans to win. I really disliked the way they were carrying on after we played against them earlier in the season, especially Papsmere Papley, who kept whinging and saying, oh, this is fake toughness, blah, blah, blah. I just didn't like it. I really wanted the Brisbane Lions to win. Wanted Fagan to get up. Wanted Fagan to get up. More than anything, I wanted Fagan. Not Judas Danaher, not Connor McKenna. I wanted Fagan to get up. And, man, he coached the oldest ever premiership coach and the first ever premiership coach to have never played football. Fagan, you are immortalized, mate. Immortalized. I apologize sincerely for anything negative I've said about you. And I know I have. I definitely have said negative things about Fagan, saying that he's not the guy. I apologize. I was wrong. You absolutely are the guy. You are him. You are him. Agree. Swans clearly shut the bed. Bro, did they shit the bed or what? Seriously, these guys. Look, I think Longmire said in the press conference after that they were trying to introduce them and tempt the Lions to take these short little kicks. Clearly, he was supposed to have been, a bit closer and maybe a bit more, hey guys, yes, we can tease them with these short passes, but you have to be switched on to force a turnover. You can't just let them take uncontested marks like no one's business. It was so bizarre. It ended up being such a low-pressure game. For a grand final in perfect conditions, it was bonkers. There was no run. There was no run whatsoever from the Swans. They kicked one goal in that second quarter, and it was courtesy of a gift. The gift. Bloody hell. It was a gift. That 50-minute penalty was ridiculous. So, man, the Swans they never fired a shot. And to be honest, very hard to fire a shot when you got someone like Benny Boy. G'day, Ben. Amati. Oh, my God. Amati was so bad. Literally, I was watching the game with Swizz. We were laughing because we were checking out and we were trying to keep track of whether or not Amati will have an effective disposal. It took him until the last 4 minutes of the game to have an effective disposal. He had to that point, I think 2 kicks and a handball. The one kick went out on the fall, another kick was a turnover, and a handball was an ineffective disposal. Amati turned into Smarties, bro. He just melted in the sun. Holy crap. Holy crap. Unbranded, hello. G'day, Unbranded. Yes, Daniels, 3 votes. Yes, that's exactly right, mate. He deserves it. He should win. He should win the finals player of the year because he set up the Lions. Ben, this Lions team has so much growth to come. I can see going back to back unless us Hawks can cook up something. Look, they have a great mix, the Lions. Really, the only old person on the list that I can think of is Zorko, right? Is there a way? Maybe is it Footy Wire? Would Footy Wire show the age demographic of these players? Was an easy way to look at the average age of the players? Lions. Games doesn't really show statistical rankings. Maybe if I typed in average age, AFL teams average age 2024. All right, let's have a look. So Brisbane equal 4th oldest. Okay. So McCarthy, Zorko obviously is got some age to him. But they'd also have, as I can see here, thanks very much. They still have McCarthy, Kitty Coleman, and Gardner back in the team. Yeah, but McCarthy's not that young either. I think McCarthy's been overtaken. I'm not sure McCarthy gets back into the team at this point. Yeah, so this is still equal 4th oldest, 4th most experienced. What's the average age? 24.9. That's still pretty good. They've loaded some young talent in the side. Obviously, we've spoken about Morris. You've still got Ashcroft. You're about to add another Ashcroft to the picture as well. Brisbane, they could go again. They could go again. Darcy, Big O. How old's Oscar McInerney? Players. Oh, we can sort by age. Beautiful. Let's go. All right. So, looking at the Lions, they got Zorko played. He's 35. Yo, Jared Lyons is 32. I actually did not notice that. Lester's 32. Lockie 31. Fort's 31. See, Fort's just depth, though. Yeah, Lockie Neal, but he's still flying. We saw Lockie Neal on the weekend in the final series. He was playing injured, and the dude is flying. Lester has played unreal. Jared Lyons is gone, so yeah, he doesn't even matter. McCarthy, 30 years old. He's going to be basically 31. He's been overtaken. He's not going to play. Joe could be retired himself. Charlie Cameron, he's still 30. He's still got the wheels to burn. So I'm not concerned about Charlie. He can go again. Big O can go again. We know Ruckman have extended careers. Gardner, 29. Connor McKenna's 28. Yeah, prime. Tom Doodie. Bro, there's still Tom Doodie to come back in the team as well. Holy shit, he's prime. Hipwood. Look, can Hipwood ever be in his prime? Hard to see. The dude's pretty hit or miss. Archie's in his prime. Jared Berry's in his prime. McCluggage, obviously. Starcevic, bro. Starcevic was close to BOG on the weekend. Holy crap. Starcevic's game was next level. It's very rare for me to agree with Purple, but far out, he was right. Starcevic had a ripping game. Answorth is only 25. Bailey's only 25. Jack Payne's still 24. He looks and feels that he's older than 24, but he's still only 24. Bro, this team can still cause damage this year to come. It just comes down to, I guess, whether or not they have a big hangover. They play enough games at home to get themselves into finals. The only question is, what sort of condition will we see them come back in next year? They clearly have the fitness to be able to play, winning it from outside of fourth. They won it at fifth. So they had to play the entire final series, and they still smashed the Swans. So, mate, this team can absolutely cause issues next year. Absolutely cause issues, which is ridiculous. All right, so let's go back up again. G'day, I'm Brandon. How's it going? Wooden Spoon Data, good to see you. Yeah, it was a great gathering. It was a good gathering. I thought it was a great Friday night. It was so much fun to be up on the stage with Smoke and Joe, with Anthony Koutafidis, with Brodie Holland, and with Simon Black. I got a hug from Simon Black on the Friday night. Next day, he's hugging Lockie Neal. I'm sorry, Lockie. Simon Black hugged me first, mate. And I'm glad that in hugging me, the good things happened to the Brisbane Lions. I was very happy about that. Oh, I've only just noticed. Lincoln McCarthy. That's my birthday, mate. 22nd of October. I'm not too far from now. So he's older than me by 2 years. Not too bad. Sydney forwards were awful. You can say that again. Amadi in the finals was pathetic. Dennis Pagan was one. He didn't play footy either. Oh, right. Okay, I thought he was the only one. Thanks, Causa. Fagan wasn't the guy, according to media experts. Yeah, I listened too much to them. I'm a dumbass. Henry V, when the crowd was chanting, "Hey baby, I want to know if you'll be my girl," as Heaney had his hand in his hands. I love it. That's so good. That is so good. No, I'm Sajid. Yeah. Mubashir. All right, sorry guys. Dude will never be able to go bowling again after that. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Felt bad. They had to pay the 50. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. The game was still close, mate. They didn't have to pay the 50. What are you talking about? Amadi has 9 and does nothing for the rest of the year. Correct. I think they really needed to. They really needed to. But apparently he's clean. I don't know. Who did he kick these 9 goals against? Bloody Amadi. Amadi party. Let's go to DFS. Who was that against? Who was that against? I don't even remember. I don't even remember this game. Who did he kick 9 on? Joel Amadi. Let's scroll down. What a year he's had. A sensational year for Joel Amadi. 9 against Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. 10 kicks. 10 kicks, 7 marks. Oh, mate, this must have been a smashing. This must have been a smashing. Let's go back and look at those scores. What happened in that game? Oh, yeah, 709. Oh, my goodness. Joel Amadi, 9 goals. If you've got Amadi kicking 9 on you, then your defensive setup is pathetic. I'm sorry. And then we lost to you as well, so we're even more pathetic. Gone mad. What a year for Zorko. It's true. It's true. I like to call him Floggo. But you know what? Kudos, respect. He did have a wonderful final series. It seemed that he had a lot to do with the resurgence of the Brisbane Lions during the course of the season. The fact that Fagan called for him to come up and lift the trophy, to lift the cup, instead of him. That was almost like one of those Bob Murphy moments where you take off the medal and you give it to Bob Murphy. This was similar because this would be a photo that Fagan would forever be immortalized, holding the trophy, holding the Premiership Cup with his 2 co-captains. But that's not what happened. He called up Zorks, and Zorko had a great game. He had a great final series, a great season in general. So You know, who says you can't? Who says acupuncture isn't any good? Acupuncture, myotherapy. I think Dane Zorko, who has been really riddled with injury throughout his whole career, I guess you can still find your best at 35 years of age. So that's really impressive. Really impressive. Gardner will struggle to get a game if Danaher stays. Possibly, but I wouldn't be surprised if Danaher goes. I mean, Danaher's never liked. Look, Danaher came into the league. He was very happy and optimistic as a youngster. He clearly showed that he enjoyed playing football. But as soon as things started to get serious and you needed him to really be the marquee player and the pressure was on, he basically ran away from Victoria to go to a rugby state. If it wasn't going to be Queensland, it was going to be New South Wales. It was either Sydney or Brisbane in the end. So he had to do all he could to get away from Victoria. And I honestly am not sure if Danaher truly enjoys playing football. I'm actually not even sure if he enjoys playing football as much. Maybe now he does, considering that they won a flag. But I've never seen Joey Danaher celebrate the way he did after his second goal when he jumped up in the air and did that. I don't know. There's a bit that can be read into it. But if he stays, he's obviously contracted. It's free money. Why not stick around and get the salary? How much is he being paid next year? Let's see. Brisbane Lions. Where is Danaher? Where's Danaher? There he is. What's his salary like this year? Doesn't say, does it? Contract out of contract. Yeah, but we don't know how much it is. Okay, so he's out of contract this year. He'll play out his contract, and then sayonara. Lachlan Nielsen also 31. It's pretty impressive. Lions retired. Yeah, that's correct. Getting another Ashcroft won't hurt. Not at all. Add Sam Marshall and Levi Ashcroft to this list. Oh my god. Who's Sam Marshall? Who is Sam Marshall?
What's up? How's it going, everybody? Sorry I'm late. Yeah, that's all I can say. Sorry I'm late, but I'm here. And we're talking Brisbane, hey? That grand final was pretty good.
We're talking some Brisbane at the moment.
Not too bad.
No, not too bad at all. They had a great win.
Not bad.
Go ahead, Big Joe.
What's up, fellow?
Ben, I wish they had have played Jared Lyons this year for us Supercoach players. He was a great Supercoach scorer.
Yeah,
man, Supercoach feels so long ago for me.
Yeah, a little bit like that for me too. I mean, I guess we'll talk AFLW in a while, but yeah, just really good game on the weekend. Brisbane, you reckon, Joe, back to back, or what's happening?
Oh, I wouldn't be back to back, but they could go back to back. I mean, I was just sort of looking at their list here. We sorted it by age. Outside of Dane Zorko, who's 35, Leicester's 32. Leicester's 32, but he's playing unreal. Lachie Neale's playing unreal. Darcy Forth's just a backup. Liga McCarthy's not breaking into the team. Danaher, he could go. He could stay. Most likely stay, maybe.
I think he'll stay a couple more years. I think, yeah, I have a feeling he'll stay a little bit longer.
Charlie Cameron's still 30, so he's got years in him. Big O still got years in him. McKenna's got years. Harris Andrews, these guys are in their prime, so they could absolutely go again. Absolutely. And, if Zorko retires, Kitty Coleman just slots into his spot.
Yep.
Off halfback. You know what I mean? So
who's the oldest AFL player? This is a question for a few people in the chat. Probably Causa, because he seems to know all the AFL knowledge. But who's the oldest AFL player to ever play? I reckon what is Dane Zorko, 35? Barring another Achilles injury or a knee injury or an ACL kind of thing, I reckon he'd be pretty close.
Dusty Dustin Fletcher.
I thought it was going to say he played till he was 49. I'm like,
oh no, his current age is 49, but he played until
I thought that's what it was saying, though. He played till he was 49. Yeah.
So he's played till 2015. That was 9 years ago. So he played till he was 40. So
far out, man. That's bonkers, Joe, that he played as long as he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till he was 40 years old, Dustin Fletcher. I wouldn't say he's the. Is he the oldest of all time?
I'm just thinking,
I don't think so.
Zorko could keep playing. Like, barring massive injury, Zorko could probably just keep playing. He's still that good and still... It's more about the fitness than anything else. So, yeah.
I wouldn't say, but he's still got his... Yeah, but Zorks definitely still has a ways to go before he gets to 40. And let alone that, I wouldn't be surprised if there's
how old is
people
Zorko?
older than 40.
35?
Yeah. So it's 5 more years. Those hammies don't last 5 years.
5 more years. Donald Trump, 5 more years. Just be Zorko, 5 more years.
Isn't it 4 years? For the president?
Same.
Legend. G'day, legend. Petty kicked the same amount of goals as Amani on the weekends.
There you go.
Clary revenge season next year, 2025 Brownlow medalist incoming.
It really depends on where he goes, and it's crazy to think that, again, Clary is almost up for trade, Joe. I don't know if you saw a bit of the trade news today, but there's clubs apparently circling that they reckon they can get Clary across. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Melbourne's going to have a few questions, and apparently he feels unappreciated at the team that, basically held him and said, mate, you deal with all your off-field stuff. I don't know how more appreciated you can actually feel. Maybe Clary's the problem and not actually Melbourne, but someone will get him. I think it will probably happen. Corey's saying he Clary to Geelong, which would be very, very interesting. It's a lot of money to offload off your books, and I think that's probably going to be the driving force, really.
Jeez, 2030, man. That's a lot of years on the contract. I don't know. I feel like teams, maybe teams are sort of, I don't know. So they got Petrarca on a long-term deal, Oliver on a long-term deal. Like, is it really in your best interest to lock in these guys? What happens if things go wrong? All of a sudden, you're forced to keep a player who's not happy to be there, and opposition teams aren't able to match your demands, considering how much is still on the contract. So who knows? It's interesting. Look, wherever Oliver goes, if he can sort his shit out, he's one of the best inside mids in the comp, if not the best inside mid in the comp. So if he gets to Geelong and Geelong's culture sorts him out, he's out there next to the beach, on the farm, with freaking Jezza Cameron, who knows? All of a sudden, Oliver wins a Brownlow, but for Geelong. Sorry, not Melbourne.
It's crazy, legend. Man.
Sorry,
every year they just keep getting better and better and better, Joe.
Yeah, he'll win the Brownlow, but not at Melbourne. They called up Zorko due to in 2022. Fagan said to Zorko, when we win, they want to hold the cup. He was captain at the time. Very nice. A man of his word. A man of his word. His dad said today he'll be at the Lions next year. Well, yeah, I mean, it's free money. He's won a premiership, no pressure on him whatsoever. He's achieved what everyone dreams of. So, he's contracted for next year. Why not get paid an extra year and then
reassess when your contract's up, definitely. Don't leave now too early. There's no pressure on him. Even if he just only plays half a dozen games and just bums around.
True. Any chance Ashcroft starts next year with forward mid DPP?
You talking about baby Ashcroft or normal Ashcroft? I don't think normal.
Well, normal Ashcroft is a bit of a baby himself.
Well, that's true, but one is 20 and one will be coming in as an 18-year-old. So
yes,
yeah, it's is he 20? Did he get drafted this year? Right?
He's
Or
20.
last
Yeah,
year,
he's 20 years old.
or 2 years ago.
2 years ago, he's 20.
He's so good.
He's so good. He
yeah,
doesn't get talked about, but he doesn't get spoken of enough compared to the likes of Dacos and stuff. Just because
Well,
he
it's
was
because he had the
injured.
injury for such a period
Yeah.
of time as well, and just gets overshadowed by Dunkley and Neil and all these other players. But he definitely holds his own. I think there's a fair chance, and if he gets DPP, it's going to be
he won't get it.
interesting. I think it's going to be one of those things similar to Cunnington a few years ago that probably should have got forward status but didn't, which would have resulted in everyone picking him. So if Ashcroft gets forward, means that everyone's going to pick him. So I don't know if that's going like they've got some discretion basically.
So he's attended on average in the last 6 games before the finals about 34% CBAs.
Yeah. So they've got some discretion. They could do it to shake things up. They could not do it to not shake things up. So yeah, we'll see.
So he'll play 1 season only if he stays. Agreed. Probably. Yep. Marshall, who plays as both an inside and outside midfielder and averaging 27 disposals, 4 clearances, and over 3 tackles per game. Lions Academy gun. Oh, FML.
There you go. Yep. So they've got pick 1 lined up or close, and then they've got him coming through as well. So I don't think they're going to be doing much on the trade table and whatnot, but they've got some good players coming through, Joe. It's almost like those Lions Academy basically just getting guaranteed picks similar to Gold Coast, and that's finally cashing in. Hey,
that's ridiculous. Henry V is asking you, Madison Gay or Emily Bates?
I've got Gay in the team, obviously. I think Bates is very, very good, though. Yeah. It kind of just depends. I think Bates is a midfielder, right?
Maybe.
So
I've given up on fantasy.
So what you just need to do is basically just fill the spot that you've got to fill in your team. Whichever one of those is the one that you really need done. For me personally, my defeat with Serene Watson basically becoming a primo at this point. It's crazy to say, Joe. She scored like a 90 something the other week, and now she scored an 80. Yeah, there you go.
Let's go. We love Gay. We both love Gay now.
Yeah, I got to fix M5, so I think Bates is in for me. Bates's price as well allows me to get a couple of players in the team. So it's either Prosparkas, but I think Bates is the one. Just sucks because Monique Conti has gone up a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. I think Fletcher was 42. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. G'day, Jen. How's it going? Good to see you.
Jen?
The oldest
I
ever?
got a question for you, Joe. Yeah, they're talking about the Cumberland. What do you reckon? So North Melbourne has put up their they did like a Q&A with the coaches and whatnot, and it basically said, well, the last few years we've hit the draft pretty hard, and now we're going to start looking at spending picks on players, and that potentially means that we're going to offload next year's pick. So, and starting to look for either picks this year or established players this year. What do you reckon? Do you think that's probably the good way to go, or hey, maybe we've got to hold out a little bit longer?
When does Tassie come in?
Tassie, I think, is 28, isn't it? 27, 28. Yeah. I assume everyone's heard about the Dan Houston news as well. So,
yeah. The Devils men's team is expected to enter the AFL competition in the 2028 Premiership season. Okay. So there's still 4 more years. Less now, actually.
I've heard that they're going to force Tasmania to actually spend draft picks on players and not just get like instant like access to them like GWS and stuff did. So yeah, we'll see what happens there.
I don't know. I feel like look, next year's draft apparently is more suited for key positions. This year's more of a midfield heavy draft. I wouldn't mind if you guys traded out of this one to get into next year's one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting way to look at it, isn't it?
Because you've got mids
It
already.
depends who we go after in free agency as well. If we say
Correct.
no first rounder, then just here comes $1 million at a player. Noah Bolter, let us know.
Yeah.
Have a chat. Yeah.
Yeah, but what you could do is you could trade out this year's picks for future seconds and future firsts.
Well, we won't be going into the futures picks. We'll be looking to get picks for this year. Pick some players for this year, I think. I think that's what they've said.
I mean, if they want to do that, it's entirely up to them. I just think it doesn't hurt improving your key position stocks because you're not going to be adding any key position stocks through the trade this year. And your key position,
I think they'll spend their first rounder on a key position player.
Yeah, but it's not a very good draft for key position players, is the thing. So it's like saying that, for example, say Peter Wright is in this draft, okay? But it's a draft full of Lockie Neals, LDUs, Zach Merritt's, Bontempellis, things like that, right? It's a draft full of Top Gun mids, and you got Peter Wright as the best forward in the draft, and you pick him up at pick 5 because this team is absolutely desperate for a key forward, and you pick him up, and then you compare that to, for example, someone like the following year where you've got the King brothers and you've got Danaher, you've got Jesse Hogan, you've got all the Kernos, the Mackays, you know what I mean? Like, you've got these top notches, and then you pick someone at pick 5. That pick 5 in that second year goes to show how good of a player he is compared to other forwards. Whereas if you were to pick someone this year, it might not be an accurate representation of this person's talent compared, it just seems to be he's the best of a weak bunch, as opposed to next year's one. He is really good amongst a really good bunch. So you don't want to pick the one who just happens to be the best at what he does that particular year, because you end up with a Ben Hobbs situation where you've got someone who was the best inside mid of that draft. But when you compare him to if he was in any other draft, he would have probably slid a lot further. So that's why I reckon if you guys were to trade into next year's draft, because soon Tassie's going to be eating those draft picks up.
I think we're going to try and go after an Armstrong, to be honest. I think he's...
Yeah, Armstrong's good, for sure.
Yeah, so I think that is most likely who's going to be our first pick if we're not spending draft picks on players. So we'll see. See what happens. I think we'll end up trading back. Nice work, Jen. I can check what did I score?
What did I score? 1735. Let me show it.
Guys, I need a defender in AFLW. I've got 374k. I can't get Biden unless I drop Stone, but then...
Biden?
Well, yeah, Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, get in the team. Joe Biden.
Go Joe Biden. No, I have... So, the story goes, I have 737k to spend, and I need to get a defender rookie and a mid rookie that are going to be good. So I need some suggestions from everybody. That's what I've got. I'm more than happy to talk trade. Apparently, Hayes is locked in. So congratulations, Carlton. You've got a good enough key defender as some coverage and whatnot. Should offer some leadership and, definitely an upgrade on Lewis Young for a season. So you've got one there.
Pretty pleased with myself this week. Finished with 2,036.
It's pretty good. A lot of people planning very much ahead. I hope next year, to be honest, I don't mind these doubles, but it's basically cost Emma Carney another All-Australian. there's been 8 seasons of AFLW, Joe, and she's been an All-Australian in 8 of them. So every season of the game, she's been an All-Australian. And due to the big injury that happened last week, because she had to play, 3 games in 7 days or something, she's most likely not going to have it again. So kind of sucks. Hopefully they don't do that again for the following seasons.
Pendles at 36 at the moment. Very nice. If Geelong goes after Clary, they won't get Smith. Correct.
That's fair. It depends on how much Melbourne forces them to spend. I don't believe... Who did they get in the draft last year? Because I think they've got that they can spend the futures pick. So,
Caleb Windsor.
So, no, Geelong.
Oh, Geelong.
So I wonder
Jack
if...
Bowes. Jack Bowes.
Yeah, I wonder if Geelong could say, hey, I'm going to... we'll use our future whatever pick on Bailey Smith, and then use our first and second round of this year on Clayton Oliver, Joe.
No, that's too much.
Or if there's a bit of talk at the moment about SDK potentially leaving. So imagine if SDK left. Hey, here's a first round pick. Clary, come. We'll look after you.
SDK wants to leave.
Well, there's some talk. There's some talk that might happen. We'll see.
Interesting. Can't wait for 8 double game players. Causa, stop bragging. No one likes
I told him the same thing too.
No one likes to brag.
Yeah. Mate, if this kid doesn't win the game, I don't know what's up.
I hope he does. He's a good man, Cause. I love your Cause. I feel like contracts go down the NBA route eventually. Yeah, well, I think so. The way things are going right now, it's just too bizarre. Like signing these players for massive long-term contracts, and then all the awkwardness associated with, I'm not happy anymore. Like the Oliver, the Petrarcas, the Grundys. It just turns into a bit of a circus. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the NBA route, personally.
Well, what does the NBA do, Joe? For those people that don't...
Well, they own the player. They own the players, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. But the AFLPA won't allow that to happen, to be honest. They're very, 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 very picky on that kind of thing. And I just don't think that was happening.
Clary would fit in at Essendon.
Mate, maybe the off-season trips would be great.
Mate, come to the Bombrays, bro. We'll look after you. We'll love you. We'll give you big games. Red and blue's not too far off from red and black, so you don't have to change that much for your eyes.
It's like saying Clary, North Melbourne is the same as Melbourne. You just add a North on the front, so you don't even have to change your stuff. Done.
Yeah, but your color's white, bro. It's just it's too
matter.
Too much for the eyes.
That's because he's innocent now. That's why it's white. He's
come on,
redemption.
Come to the Bombers. You're friends with Jai Caldwell, right? You're friends with someone. Come on,
he's good friends. He's good friends with Jai Simpkin. Yeah,
all right, fine. You have him. You can have him.
No, that's all right.
Would you captain Robum or Gardner?
Who's Gardner playing? Give me a sec. Sydney play Essendon and Geelong. I would probably go Gardner, to be honest. I think Robum, her scores the last couple of weeks haven't been great, and Gardner's been pushing the hundreds. So I'd go her if you can afford it.
Gold Coast, Hawthorn, Essendon, Sydney, Essendon, Geelong. Look, I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna go Rowbottom. I just think she's a freak. Tackling machine, etc., etc. Next week I'll have no rookies on field.
Yeah, I think if I can get Bates in, it's more just about me picking the players. But I think next week I have no rookies on field as well.
Still gonna have to play Goody. Swapped Campbell out for McDonough. Campbell will go 90 now. Yay! Thanks, Gorn, man. I still have her, and I think I'm stuck with her.
Mate,
Um,
Isabel Huntington with the 95 on the weekend, I tell you what.
Clutch. Bringing in Prasparkas from Geelong, Scott from Geelong, and McAvoy from Sydney this week.
That's pretty big. That's pretty big. Yeah. I'm looking at Bates. I think Bates looks okay, but if I don't go Bates, I can actually do some pretty crazy stuff. So we'll see. See what we can.
I've heard chatter of Kanga's first this year and next year's first. For St Kilda's 2 firsts this year with some sort of bonus. If St Kilda get 8 and 9 for battle. Seemed like big footy chat though.
Yeah, I think there's definite talk that there was a 3-way swap with Freo and Port Adelaide that's been talked up a little bit as well. We'll see what happens. I think Richmond will most likely try and get in with that as well. And you might find Richmond this year with pick 1, 2, and 3, Joe. Could be pretty crazy. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Houston most likely will come to North, so it's just about how to make it happen. And I think we'll most likely try and have a top 10 pick and Houston with selections on top of it. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There'll be some major movements at North Melbourne.
Yeah, so next year is the key draft. This is the key position draft. Only 3 mids are rated high, and one is a Lions Academy player. Their name is Annabelle.
I assume that's the last name.
Manna, Humphreys, and Mitch Edwards.
Yep, and they picked Stevens, the chunky guy, the one that was like 101 kilos, remember? The inside bull. I wonder what ever happened to him.
I think he's gone out the pasture, mate.
Yeah, unlucky.
I might a cheap 400k defender.
Give us Henry.
Double.
Let's go, Henry. I have 737k to spend. I need 2 cash cows, 1 in defense, 1 in the forward line. Sorry, 1 in the defense, 1 in the midfield. I can get Prasparkas. Guys, do we like Bates or do we like Prasparkas? Which one do we like? That's my question.
I don't even know what I'm going to do.
Finn's going this week.
What am I doing, mate? What do I do? What do I have here?
Upgrade your team, Joe. Get rid of the weakest position on field and upgrade.
But that's like everywhere. That's everywhere.
One. Just pick one then.
Well, this needs to be fixed too.
Well, the defense is probably the number 1 spot. Hopefully Paugo comes back this week. Yeah.
I just don't have money.
That's who I've traded this week too. That's who I've traded.
All right, we need someone cheap. We need basement price double game.
Stone is someone that I've been looking at. She played 50% game time and scored a 44.
With 3 goals. Excellent.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's the thing, isn't it?
We're just gonna... Oh, nah, you're not playing. And you're not playing.
Is Pauga suspended for 1 game? I think she got suspended for 1 game, not 1 round. So because she missed the second of the double. I think she's free to play this week. Noah, I think she's free to play this week. Pauga was 2 games. Okay, so Pauga's not playing this week then. Kind of sucks, but that's all right. Yeah. So Prasparkas, a lot of people going Prasparkas, Joe. From Geelong. I remember her being a good pick from last year. It's more just, Bates is a bit of a beast.
Am I training out Schleicher?
I think you need to upgrade players on field. I think that's what you need to do.
Very well.
Oh, yeah, I did all right. Yeah, I'll show my team. What did you score last week?
I don't remember. I'm not really playing this game, to be honest, anymore.
Same for me.
It's
At least
sort
you
of
got
just
cash in the bank.
it's sort of just playing itself at the moment.
All right, just pick some players. Doesn't matter. Just go for double game players if you've got them on field.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Travis says Bates. Velo says Gabby. Yep, I like her as well. Just about fitting stuff in. All right. I won't say what score I scored then. Do we like Bates or do we like Prasparkas, Joe? No, the other one. Not her, the other one, the Geelong one. I think Abby McDonald's gone down from the midfield. Is she suspended or is she injured?
She's dead.
She's dead? No more?
Well, she's cheap. We'll go with Georgie then. Because she's cheap. So I need a defender. I can't afford a defender for 238. All right.
Corey, what did Corey score this week? Corey, what did you score this week? Let us know. Yeah, I think those two are the ones to go. And then just bring in two cheapos, Joe.
I think that's what I have to do. Who's cheap? That's double game. That's actually going to play. All right, you're cheap. But you haven't played since round 3, so you're probably not going to play.
Corey beat me. Scumbag Corey. Not by much. Not by much, though. But Corey beat me.
Scumbag Corey.
Scumbag Corey beat me.
All right, stuff it. We'll go super cheap there. And then we're going to want a defender who's also cheap.
You got 600k. Oh, no, because you need 2 play. Oh, that's not good.
It's terrible. You tell me I've got money in the bank. What money in the bank? There's no money. There's no cash here. What are you talking about? Wait, how does that even make sense?
What?
Well, let me just refresh. Let me refresh the screen.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
correct. No, I don't think so.
I scored 1735.
Nice.
All right. Let's make the trade. So Window and Ramos go out. Cash here? No cash here, Robbo. There's no cash here. Double game week players. We're going to go for Sophia Hurley. No, I'm just joking. Where is she?
Who?
Where's Prasparkas? Maybe I'll just type in her name. There we are.
There you go.
Prasparkas.
She's not averaging much.
Oh, man, I got no money.
Yep. Not enough. You got to get rid of someone. Who are you going to get rid of? Someone who's cheap. Beatty, get out of here. Oh, man. You just need 2 players, Joe. 2 guys that have got 300k that are playing the double. Question for the boys, Joe. Did you hear Mark Robinson has done his last show on AFL 360? Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you guys remember, but Joe and I went to the Supercoach opening where Robbo and Jared were there. So, yeah, it was nice meeting them and saying hello and whatnot. So, yeah, a bit sad to see him go, but it is what it is, I suppose. And
why are you sad?
Well, I mean, like when a person's been doing what they've been doing for so long, for them to retire, he's definitely a name in the industry. So
yeah, good for him. But it's
all good
nice things must come to an end.
He's a nice guy. That's all I'll say. He took the time to say hello to us, and that's a lot more than people had done.
It was actually Jared who said hello to us more so than Robbo.
Well, still.
There we go. I managed to afford 2 cheapies to afford Prasparkas.
Nice.
This is
Nice.
pathetic. This team is so bad. But it's fine. It's all right. We've only got one more rookie to get rid of, and that's this person. And I don't have any money to get rid of him. Corey, is he taking BT's TV commentary job? I really hope so. What?
Done.
Oh, because Waitley's going to Channel 7.
Yeah. Oh, they might just stop the show. Might just say see you later.
All right. That's the team. Those are the trades going into this week.
We'll do mine.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Alrighty. This week, boys and girls, Big J scored 1836. So not too bad there. I didn't realize it was actually that high because I just locked in Ghana. And the beautiful thing about these double weeks is you can just put the C on the player and then just done. By Tuesday, your team's done. Watson with the 87, pretty happy. This week we get rid of Goody. Finally, I wish I had Breed still in my team, but we don't. Get rid of Goody, and then I think that's basically no rookies on field. Because I assume Watson's no longer a rookie. Tripodi's averaging hundreds, so yeah, not too bad there. What it's looking like is I just need to fill some spots. Finn goes, Goody goes, Remos goes. Load up on some double game players. So I'm, what is it? I'm just out of being able to afford West, so that kind of sucks. I can afford Aisling McCarthy, so if we think that she's going to be a good player, we can pick her instead. Let me know. But currently, the team is, where's Bates? And this is the tricky part. So West is in, oh no, not West, sorry. Let's do it this way. So Bates is there. And I have 737K. So I need 2 players, guys. 2 players. Give me 2 players. That's all I want. Need a defender, need a midfielder. Once we do that, I'm cooking. I can get Prasparkas in as well if I need to. And that kind of opens up a little bit more in terms of cash gen. So, yeah. I was thinking of going defender. Who can I afford like this? I was thinking of getting Biden Weg in for the double.
Get Biden's wig in. Get him in.
Remember how we were talking about her all preseason?
Yes.
Like, cool, 27-year-old, whatever. And then I just need a midfielder for 350K. And I don't think I have anyone who I can really afford. That's the only issue. So I can get Adams in, but yeah, I can get O'Rourke in. She's been named. Are you tricking me? Brad Ford doesn't feel like the right player. I feel like I'm being trolled here. There you go. Henry going Slicer to Holmes, Goody to Bont, and Vesio to Zorko. Oi, oi, oi. There. Yeah, so I just need one player. If I go, let's pretend Bates is out, and then we go. Go Prasparkas instead. Does offer a bit more in terms of money to be able to afford players. Is there anyone actually decent? Not really. Not really. 460K.
Get Stone.
Nah.
Good double game week players.
I just want the cash gen. This cash gen is really going to help because I think O'Dowd needs to go soon. So the cash gen is useful. We'll go Bates. Mackenzie Ford. Let me see. Why do we like Kenzie Ford, Corey? Give us the Kenzie Ford. All right. So she's there, and then I guess we grab. All right. We'll confirm that. We'll see how it goes. I'll have a think about it for tomorrow. Sparkus in, Biden Weg in. I think I have 6 doubles because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Gabby makes 6. So I think I've got 6 doubles for this week. So not too bad. We'll see how we go.
How many do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, no drums. Let us hope Brennan comes back.
7.
No, Brennan's going to make things interesting. So hopefully she's back.
This game's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's too quick.
You don't. Yeah, this is what we found last year too, right? If you don't plan ahead, like you sneeze and one of your rookies jumps up a huge amount of points, and then.
Yes, thank you, Kai. Kai, you've come at the right time. I want Bates, maybe. Can you trade in Bates, Kai? Kai, trade in Bates for me, please.
Yeah. Then my getting Prasparkas doesn't hurt me too much. You can get Bates in.
Yeah, that's my team going into this week. Gotta join the NBL Super Wage bandwagon. I'm not gonna do that, mate. I swear the game's already started, hasn't it?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's like week 1 or 2.
Yeah, I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I actually have 9 doubles this week. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I mean, like if I play Hetherington on field and then play Joe Biden on, I'm going to call it Joe Biden. I'm sorry.
Joe Biden is such a great nickname.
I've got Joe Biden now. That's it. Got Joe Biden. If I go and get Joe Biden and put her on field, like I've got enough players as well. So yeah, it's I could have 8 playing this week too.
Heading into week 3, yeah. Let's get on board with NBL Supercoach. 3 weeks behind, mate. Get around him.
Yeah, as long as you beat someone, Joe. As long as you rise up the ranks like by 1, then you're set.
Man, I just want to break from trades. Trades.
Yeah.
Trades. I'm burnt out from trades, honestly.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the trade period, to be honest. Not saying that that's my grand final, but it's kind of your grand final, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting one this year, I think.
Oh, top 1%, you ledge.
Nice.
184 this week. Happy with a cap. I have lost like 1 million in value from injury trade-ins. Yep. So just tell everybody what your trades are, Kai, and then do a community post, and we'll get everyone to not follow you. Much appreciated, Kai. And commiserations, because commiserations about this very bad performance. Your boys, unfortunately, did not do you proud on the day. But
I'm a bit sad about it, to be honest. Like, I was speaking to someone today about it, and like the first quarter was good, and then they just fell off the bandwagon. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Sydney. Sydney feel like my volleyball team, Joe. We play well throughout the season, but come crunch time, just can't get the W. When finals come around, I don't know if the other teams decide to play better or the pressure gets onto us, but yeah, it's kind of how it works.
I just find probably the most remarkable stat I feel is the fact that there were only 2 inside 50s apart.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like literally only
defense is so underrated.
Only 2 inside 50s less. But they conceded an extra 15 scoring shots, which is remarkable. Remarkable. Yeah.
Well, I think the stat the stat in the first quarter, right? First half was like Brisbane was up by a huge amount in terms of maybe inside 50s, and maybe Sydney came back towards the end. Yeah.
I think Sydney had a decent start. I thought Sydney. I mean, it was a bit of time with no score, but then it's just so the Sydney looked to be okay, and then it sort of just started to go the way of the Lions.
Mm.
Rowbottom missed a shot, Hayward kicks a goal, then Papley kicks a goal barely 2 minutes later, and you're thinking, oh, here you go, the Swans are on. The Swans have won every game this season when they have led after the first 10 minutes. Wow. Of course, they then go on to lose this one in a big way. But yeah, Kyle Lohmann was so good. I thought this guy was on track for the norm, Kyle Lohmann. The way he was going. I think he had like 4 goals to halftime or something. Like, it was ridiculous. 3 goals. Hipwood, Archie, Morris. No, he had 3 goals to halftime. I misremembered. I apologize. I have Webster, Darcy, McAvoy, Mitchell, Chris Marcus, Robum, Breed, Scott, and Huntington. Beautiful.
I think
Woody has a
double this week. Someone clarified.
Heaney, Rowbottom, Warner, Errol / McInerney versus Neil, Ashcroft, Dunkley, McCluggage. Guess who won the contested battle? Yeah, I mean, they're a powerful midfield.
It'll happen. Heaney's probably taking the Lockie Neal type role, but your Warner and Errol, and especially McInerney, like, they're still very young. These guys are probably early 20s still. Give them time and they'll do it. But it's men versus boys out there, really, as good as the Sydney players are.
If people, yeah, I know that was so stupid, and I won't forget. I was laughing my ass off when he slipped over before he kicked the goal, and I was literally saying, "Eric Hipwood, you are the worst footballer I have ever seen." And as I'm saying that, the ball just sails through the goals, and we're all like, "What the hell was that? There's no way Eric Hipwood kicked that goal." When Hipwood's doing that, it's not your day. Oh, boy.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Sydney was getting dumped inside 50s because they were lost contesting the footy. And then the Lions were just kicking around uncontested footy. Yeah, it was really surprising.
They were just getting the pressure. It's something, I hate referencing North Melbourne, but it's something that we do kind of when you're running into pressure and whatnot, you just kind of get rid of the ball. And they were doing that into the forward line. And Harris Andrews and Starcevic and a few of the others were just like, hey, cool. Yeah, reset. Let's go again.
Exactly. 45 tackles in the game of footy is terrible, even in such an uncontested. Yeah, that was no bueno. Obviously, guy won the hitouts fairly comfortably, but it just did not translate into clearances. Being up 22 hitouts for just one more clearance really isn't amazing. Contested possessions, Brisbane were up, had less turnovers, but look at the possession. They had the ball 53. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just felt like the Sydney Swans were so rushed every time they got the ball that they just had to bomb hack it. And the Lions just had the ball on a string, controlled the pace of the game, played keepings off when they had to, and then attacked through the corridor when the Swans didn't. But look at that. Look at this. Look at this. This is ridiculous. 22-9. Like, it is ridiculous. They had the ball for 54% of the game, and yet they still plus 20'd in tackles.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen a stat line so one-sided, in a long time, in a grand final. But, look, I don't know. The Swans, they're a good team. Blood's culture. All that stuff. The team's not old. There's still plenty of young talent in there. I can see the Swans finishing top 4 again next year. Filling the Sting, it's nowhere near over for the Swans. Like maybe question mark over, the game style potentially, but the Swans will be around the mark next year. Of that, I've got no doubt.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think they just need to. I don't know if it's a game plan thing or a mindset thing. Sometimes these things just take a while to kind of get figured out. But something needs to change in that team. Something really needs to change. I was surprised they don't start playing guys like Sheldrick for just how dominant they are in the middle. Seems like they'll have really big games and then just go missing for parts of the season. So yeah, there's a lot of old players there, Joe. I don't know if Rampy stays. Obviously, Luke Parker's on the way out. There's a lot more. I know you went over the Brisbane demographic of older players. Sydney's not great.
Got a few. I mean, Grundy's still fine. He's a ruck.
Because he's
Cunningham's
got like 8
all
more
right.
years on his contract.
Yeah. Lloyd can piss off. Seriously. Taylor Adams, he might be on the way out too. Parker on the way out. Sam Reed's done. I mean, Rampy could be done.
I think so.
Heaney's still in the prime. Papley in his prime. Melican, Mills, Franger. I would have played Francis over McDonald. I honestly would have played Francis as a defensive forward, like what Collingwood did last year with Billy Frampton, playing him as a defensive forward on Harris Andrews. I would have, because you could see that McDonald's ankle wasn't right. He had one contest in the first quarter and was limping. He became a non-factor. And when you've got players who are healthy, like Mills or Francis or even Taylor Adams, you got a bunch of players who are healthy.
Yeah. Kai's saying here, only over 30s that are in the best 22 are Rampy, Lloyd, Cunningham, and Grundy. And if that's the case, next year, because obviously Parker's going to the Roos. The crazy thing is, you just need to start delisting these players then, because they're taking up list spots and stopping a young player from being in the team. I would not be surprised if Sydney go hard again, for mature age talent, similar to Geelong, and trying to bolster the best 22 without, having to spend 3 or 4 years on development, because the young kids are definitely there. There are some good key forwards in the state leagues that could help. I know there's some talk that GWS wants Stringer. I would not be surprised, and probably a good thing if you guys go after Peter Wright or something like that. Just say, hey, we'll just need some good key forwards. Someone who can stand up, because Marty, I know you were bagging him before, but yeah, it's not there. This is where Tom Murphy comes in with the Parker pick. Yeah, that's it. Tom Murphy could be a good selection for you guys. I would have loved him at North Melbourne, but he was there, and then we let him go, and maybe reuniting of the lost son.
Oh, Henry V's asking a very big question here: Biden or Bush? Obama? Did we say Obama?
Nah, no Obama. I would say Bush, just for the fact that America was in a lot better position when he was around compared to what it's like with Joe Biden at the moment. That's definitely the thing. Streets were safer, everything was better. As much as Bush probably wasn't the best president, he left America in a much better position than what Joe Biden has. So, yeah. There you go. Yeah, I know. Biden, it's interesting because we knew when she came in, being 27, I think she fills a role in the team. And I think that they're going to play her every week until the season's finished. I mean, she went 28 the first week, 31, and then 42. So slowly building up. Doing all right there.
Make the AFLW great again. Biden defense, Bush forward, Hillary Clinton in the midfield. No. AFL Derby, g'day, mate. Is
What's
it got a
up, mate?
Fremantle fan? A Freo fan in the chat? Let's go. I heard Sydney is going to try to get Oscar Allen out of West Coast. No
Nah, I doubt
way
it.
West Coast will trade their captain. Nah, no way.
I doubt it. I think there would have been potential if Darling was still in the team, but no way that they're going to get him. The guy's going to play however long. And, I even saw some people talk about it today saying, cool, if they get Graham, if they get Bolton, if Baker's in, if they do some other things. West Coast are pushing for finals again. So, yeah, they've got some good young talent. Harley Reid's definitely there. And if guys like Oscar Allen, Waterman definitely, and I think Jack Williams too, who's basically going to be playing because Darling's no longer playing. West Coast are not looking terrible.
So have a look at West Coast demographic, actually. It'll be
They're,
interesting to see.
It's a bit sad for North Melbourne. Well, I mean, West Coast have the better older age talent, let's be fair. But, yeah, a bit sad for us. McGovern's still playing, which is bloody amazing. Jack Darling's obviously going. I think Gaff has announced retirement. So there's one off the list. Yeah, still a lot of guys under 30. Like, you look at that list compared to Sydney. Like, West Coast have more available under 30-year-olds who are actually capable of playing football than Sydney do. So if they can figure out their ruck line is probably the hardest thing. Like, is it Flynn? Is it BJ Williams? Is it half a dozen other players that seem to play every week? If they can just get someone or cement, hey, look, I'm going to be the ruck, I think they'll be okay. Liam Ryan, so no, Luke Ryan? No, Liam Ryan. Apparently there's a couple of clubs potentially looking after him as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't even know Blowjob Williams was out my way, the Dandenong Stingrays.
Yeah. As long as you can play. Get those BJs out Joe's way.
Exactly right. Yeah, man. Hopefully next year, you sort of the way you collapse into the season definitely needs to be studied and not replicated ever again. Never again.
Yeah.
Sydney will need to give McDonald and Warner for that to even have a chance. Well, Warner, I think, would definitely have to be on the Jimmy Neutron. Would definitely have to be on the cards because Warner is a WA boy. So
there's a lot of smoke while there's fire, Joe. So we'll see what happens during the trade period. I don't think he'll leave just for being a Sydney boy and whatnot. I mean, the Sydney lifestyle, I think, suits him a little bit more. Seems to be a bit of a flashy type player, but could go home for the right price maybe for that homesick or whatnot. West Coast need to develop their list. Yeah, especially with Barras leaving. And that's probably the big thing. If they can figure that out, I think Rotham's gone as well.
We're sniffing around for Rotham, apparently.
Yeah, McGovern's the big pillar, man. McGovern's no good. They're in a bit of trouble, but outside of that,
very injury prone.
Terrible.
He's very injury prone.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Well, just some more trips to Abu Dhabi, Joe. We're in the preseason. That's it.
Tom Cole gonna have his hands full. Liam Duggan's gonna have his hands full. Barras is gone.
My only problem, we'll talk about Freo for a sec. My only problem with Freo is I don't know how much money is actually going to be tied up in Trek and Luke Jackson. Like, they're both on decent sized contracts, and that's a lot of money for guys who are probably going to be paying. I hate to side with Kano, but you've got two guys basically competing for a spot in the team. Well, not a spot, but for a role in the team. And when they don't play that role, they suffer. So I wonder if one gets traded at some point, Joe. Won't happen this year, but I wonder if one gets traded at some point.
We're talking about the back line. I think Ruben Jimby's role to the move to the back line looked really good for West Coast. I thought he was very promising. I think he's actually found his niche playing in the back line and as a defender. So you know what? I can see West Coast improving for sure. I reckon they're gonna, because they're gonna keep tinkering away. They're gonna start trying to trade away some of these senior players, and seeing if they can get compensation for some of these players. I reckon the Eagles, they're so good at rebuilding. Don't you worry, they'll be top 8 in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah. I do think they probably need one or two tools in the back line, but WA's been good at like getting WA talent in. So either it's a guy from the draft or through the waffle. I think they can do it.
Yeah. And congratulations, because they've got the coach now, McWalter. So
Yep. Who's already
finally
poached. Looks like he's already poached a few Richmond players too. They've come because he's at the club.
Exactly. So congratulations to Mini Andrew McWalter, 38-year-old, so he's not old. He's pretty young, taking on a big responsibility. So yeah, good luck to him, and good luck to
very
the
big
Eagles.
responsibility. I mean, he's probably joined the biggest club, around, really.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, no, you got to back in your boys. You got to back them in. Could have and should have played finals if they beat Port at home, which they didn't. You know, the demographic of the Freo Dockers is still quite young for the most part. Not too many people over 30. I wouldn't think.
No.
Michael Walters, 5. Tapper's gone. O'Meara on his last legs, but yeah, literally, there's like hardly anyone.
They've cleared house in recent times.
Yeah,
which is a bit. It's good, but it's bad because you want to be competing well for finals, and if they're collapsing with the young group, maybe it's just a time thing, but it gives a little bit of warning signs.
Yeah, but seriously, bro, look at Hayden Young, 23.
They're
wrong.
Good,
23. Clark,
they got rid of Sabet. They got rid of Sabet Kiuk, Joe. That's the problem. They got rid of him. You know, best
and
player.
He played short 24.
Yeah. And then Jordan Clark as well. Jordan Clark's played 100 games at under 24. So yeah, the big thing for a Freo is the fact that they do have a few of these players that don't come from Freo. So Brayshaw, obviously Victorian. There's some talk that St Kilda's trying to go after him. I think there's a couple of other players in the team as well that are good in a similar type position. So down the track, might find that some of these Victorian teams are saying, hey, come back to Victoria and we'll offer you some money. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Jeez, they really are a young side, man. They're really young. I think a lot of Sydney's youngsters are good. They just can't get a game. But with 2 to 3 best 22 spots opening next year, I reckon Sheldrick will be the biggest surprise. I think it's more of a surprise that he's not getting a gig already. Like he sort of showed in the brief flash that he had due to injury, just how good he was. I actually thought he probably deserved recognition for that, and kept his spot in the side to reward good form. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. James, I'll be trading Katy Perry in. She was good. She was very good. I thought it was good.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't watch it, but some people were saying she was potentially lip syncing. And yeah, we'll see what's up with that if something comes out later. And she's no good at keeping balls inflated. So, you know, Katy Perry, not in my team.
Mate, I reckon there were a lot of balls that were inflated watching her in her outfits, to be honest.
She's like 50.
I know, but still, she can still kill it, mate. Where do you reckon Parfit and Rowan would fit next year? Look, I don't think Parfit deserves to be anywhere. I don't think Parfit's a great player, but Gary Rowan.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
a team challenging can get Gary Rowan, because I reckon Gary Rowan's good for 30 goals a year.
I think I agree he needs to go to a challenging side. How many games did he play at Geelong this year, Joe? Can you check? All I think about is that head scar That was
The
pretty
staple.
gnarly. Yeah,
The staple.
I've just got that stuck in my head. How many games did he play this year? From memory, he didn't play that many.
Gary Rowan played 12 games this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so.
12 games, 9 goals,
Yeah.
6 goal assists.
I think he someone will take him on as a fringe. I could totally, if you wanted to play, I could see maybe I'm going to say Sydney. I feel like a Sydney might take him back.
No.
But maybe a Brisbane or something like that if they just have a spare draft pick. I could see him getting a gig at someone like a
St Kilda.
St Kilda. Or if you wanted to move maybe a Gold Coast, depending on
or a Melbourne.
How many extra picks, potentially a Melbourne. But it's a team that really needs to be pushing for finals. And I think Melbourne might not be the right way because I feel like they're imploding a little bit. Petrarca wanted to leave. Oliver's now saying, hey, I'm not happy. Max Gorn's on his last legs. They have no forward line. May and Lever are, 31, 32. So there's a big shake-up happening at Melbourne.
Yeah, but beggars can't be choosers. He's been delisted. He doesn't. He's going to go anywhere.
How many? He's going to be 34 next year. How many clubs are going to say, "Hey, 34-year-old, come to my club"?
Yeah, a contender. We just said it. So we reckon someone like a Melbourne.
I don't think he gets a gig. To be honest, you have to be very, very lucky. Very, very, very lucky. Very lucky.
I reckon he's a good fit at Melbourne. He's good for 30 goals.
If he plays 20 games.
Yeah, I reckon Melbourne, because Melbourne don't have a great forward line.
Yeah, and that would be the saving grace, to be honest.
That's why I reckon he'd be a good fit there. I wouldn't be surprised. I reckon he could be okay for St Kilda. I wouldn't mind another forward, another player who can hit the scoreboard. I mean, looking at Melksham is 33. He's not going to be around for long. As a forward, McDonald's 32 will stay. Ben Brown's gone. Tomlinson 31. Yeah, who else are the forwards? Billings is shit. He's a winger. Gus is retired. Don't know why he's still on this list. Neil Bullen is good, 28.
Well, he's off. He's gone. Neil Bullen's off.
He's gone.
Adelaide.
Correct. So it just goes to show that there is a real need. That's right. I forgot he's gone to Adelaide. There is a real need for forwards at Melbourne. I reckon Gary Rowan, mate, I don't know. I reckon Melbourne need him.
There's a spot. I'll say there's a spot, but I don't think they take it. I think Hunter's retired as well, right? 29. The issue is with a team like Melbourne, and I think St Kilda a little bit, but not so much. They get their final. They had an amazing year. They've got their grand final. They won, and then they just fall off again. And I think that's a bit of an issue with a team like this. Everything has to become aligned, and the AFL in general just keep getting better and better and better and better and better. You have to be special like a Brisbane to go back to back to back, or at least be consistent. Because there's, North's not there, Richmond's obviously not there, West Coast is not there, but going to be getting there soon. There's probably one or two other clubs that aren't competing for a top 8 spot, and that's it. And that's the beauty of just the league at the moment. So, yeah, it's really good. However much he weighs, that's all I'm going to say.
What do you think of the Saints? If they do get Soldo McRae and maybe another mid, and maybe a small forward in Liam Ryan or Curtis Taylor?
Well, you're not going to get Curtis Taylor's gone. Curtis Taylor's been gone, I think, since July, which is why he just got straight up. Like, he had some trade value, but it's already been behind the scenes, worked out. He's just going to go. I think they're okay. I think that losing what's his face? Henry throughout the season wasn't great because I know he got injured and then whatnot. Hill definitely is there. They've really struggled without Brad Crouch and still just can't do everything, which is the issue with St Kilda. Marshall's good. I think that just the coherency between the players is a real big problem, and losing Battle as well. As much as people don't like him, Battle's gone, Membry's gone. Jack Sinclair just can't do everything, and it turns into basically Jack Sinclair and Steele. And I just don't think that it's you're not scared to play St Kilda, and I think that's probably their biggest problem. Is that they do have good players across the board. Sure, no worries. But like you look at that top list, right? Tom Campbell's gone. Cool. Seb Ross is probably gone. He's not scaring anyone. Jimmy Webster is lucky to still be on a list after sniping a play. He's good for one snipe every 10 weeks or so. I don't think Brad Hill is scaring anyone. I don't think Mason Wood, cool. He's probably their most solid player. Brad Crouch, I don't know what's happened to him. You just kind of work down the list a little bit, and they've got good young talent. Guys like Wilson, definitely, and a few of their other guys, Massimo and our friend Anthony Caminiti and a few of these players.
Who's Massimo?
No, sorry, Massimo. What's his face? Machito Owens. Sorry, Machito Owens. Like they've got good young players, but I put them next to a North Melbourne. North Melbourne have good young players too, but it's the strength across the board which is the biggest issue. So they've just got to get that through. They need a couple of anchor players. I think not that Jack McRae will get wasted at St Kilda, but I don't think he's going to have as much impact as what some people are thinking, and he's just going to be another player for them. Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is for me. If Soldo can get himself right, and I think St Kilda need to hire a really good goal kicking coach, because from memory, Soldo has a decent mark. So if they can get him to mark the ball in that forward 50 and offer something else, because the problem with Max King is he still gets like double teamed during games. If they can kind of stop that from happening a little bit, or a Caminiti and stuff kind of take away a little bit of that pressure, then they'll be okay. But they're just not a scary team to play. And that's probably the biggest issue. Yeah. You need to be fast. And I think they've lost a little bit of that over the time. Yeah.
I reckon the Saints will be all right. I reckon the Saints make the 8 next year.
I don't see how they're going to push anyone out. Unless there's a major turnaround at the club. They're losing so much talent from this list. And I don't think they're going to get back.
I think the only one.
But look at games played, though. Games played is huge. Seb Ross is probably gone. What's his face? There's quite a few. There's quite a few. Like Dan Butler's not turning around the clock.
Yeah, no, but I think Barras is the only one that they're losing. It's not Barras, sorry. Battle. I think Battle is the only one that they're losing that I think hurts. But I think if they add Soldo, it means that if they add Soldo, it means they're going to try and play Marshall more forward, and I think he's definitely very capable of playing that role. McRae's another mid that can just because we haven't seen anything of Crouch at all, so McRae can be around on the ball. Paddy Dow, yeah. I mean, Powell, he could be, injured a lot.
I agree. But you're still relying on 21, 22-year-olds. That's the issue.
Well, it's not too bad. Mateus can play in the midfield.
There's a lot of good kids. But you end up having the same issue as Sydney versus Brisbane, right? You've got close to 30-year-olds beating up on 22, 23-year-olds. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah, but they had such a great run this year in terms of the wins that they've had.
So did Freo. Like Freo had a better run.
No. Not to end the season. To end the season, the Saints went pretty good. So, I mean, all right, so they beat the Eagles away. They got over the line against the Suns. They lost by 20 at the Gabba, which is not bad because obviously these guys were the premiers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They lost just to Port. They beat the
They,
Swans.
they probably shouldn't have beat the Swans there.
This was a bad loss. I'll give you that. And they won by 72, won by 53, won by 85. They lost by 85. This was a smashing, absolute smashing. Bounced back the next week. They beat the Cats in what was a really impressive win.
Yeah.
And this game beating Carlton was really impressive as well.
Corey's saying here they won 6 out of the last 8. 100% they did. But outside of those last 2 games, how many of the games they won were actually against contenders? I almost say that they were lucky.
Geelong?
So Carlton and Geelong, cool. That's what I said. Outside of those 2, Richmond's not a contender. They're playing for draft picks. Essendon probably not towards the end of the season. They're not beating the Eagles. Like the Eagle, I can sneeze and beat the Eagles, and like Sydney will probably unlucky. So, like, it'd just be like playing North Melbourne, Eagles, Richmond, and
these teams made a grand final. These guys made a prelim.
I know they lost against Port though.
Yeah, I know. They made it to a prelim. This is a prelim side.
Yeah.
A grand finalist.
So out of their last 6, they got gifted like 3 of those wins.
I don't know if they count as gifts. So they had to bust their gut.
They weren't versing top 8 sides.
Look at their midfield next year, as Kai's saying. McRae, Steele, Filippo, Winhager, Sinclair. That is not bad. You're going to have Soldo tapping down to them and kicking the ball forward.
You're not, because Rowan Marshall's going to be there. So Soldo's going to be stuck.
Rowan Marshall will play more forward, I reckon. If they're going to have Soldo, Rowan Marshall will play more forward. And you're going to have King as well.
I think Soldo's going to get relegated to the forward line because they need a forward. They've got King and then that's it. Caminiti will play third if he plays, and then it's going to be Soldo. At least the mix.
Kai, it's clear, Kai, that Big J is not a big fan of St Kilda. All right, look,
No. I don't mind St Kilda. I just don't think they're scary. I think they have a few things to work out, and they've got a young team. And the issue with young teams is they get bullied by older teams. That's it. Okay, cool.
What Velo said.
Easy.
What Velo said. Did Carlton screw up delisting Jack Martin? Look, I think he's too good to not be playing football. The problem is he never plays football because he's always injured.
No, I have no trouble with them delisting him. I think every team at some point, like I think you always try and get draft picks. Fantastic. But I think every team at some point, there's always going to be some player who is like, cool, okay. Like they're good enough to get in a spot, but maybe not good enough to get in, like to stay for a while, whatever. Yeah, I think that's probably the tricky thing. So North Melbourne with Curtis Taylor, right? Good enough. He's worth something on the trade table, but just needs to go. And I think if they had just been like, cool, Jack Martin, whatever. Yeah, I don't think so.
I did some commentating for a channel that streams footy in Tassie, and they said I should start podcasting as well. Got any advice?
Get a camera that's okay, and a microphone that's not fuzzy. If your footy knowledge is there, then majority of the work's done. It's just about making a presentable channel, really. And I think that's where a lot of people falter, is they don't spend that $100 or $150 to buy kind of just what they need to do. And then just start making content, really. Joe and I definitely smashed this preseason and whatever, but it's just about create a reason for people to want to come back and subscribe and watch your stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be every day, but a couple of times a week. Hey, look out for the AFL Derby video. It's coming, you know? Talk about things that you know, because you definitely get found out very, very quickly in this industry if you talk about things you don't know. People will fact check you 100%. So, yeah. Yeah, you can get it. Exactly. And then it just turns that the issue is, Kai, is that people pay the money and won't put in the hard work to actually make the content. So, as much as it is spend your money, a lot of it is do the content, but they need to be a mix between the two. You can't have you can't have fantastic content, but your microphone's sounds like you're talking next to a fan inside a microwave. And I've had people on the show, and then we've had people that we've worked with and people we know that have setups similar to this, and it's not great for watching, because not great for watching.
No, not great for watching at all. The issue is about saying kia ora. Much like the Swans, is their key position forwards and their forward line mix. Once they've fixed that, Saints will be flying with their ball users behind the ball. Yeah, I think so as well. I think so as well. So it's not too bad. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what next year dishes out. Of course, we're still fresh coming off of a grand final, so there's still some time between now and next year before we have to worry about that. Everyone's enjoying their holidays at each of those clubs. There's no reason why we shouldn't enjoy a little holiday ourselves. But with
that's all right. That's okay. I fixed
it. How many streams have I broken? Seriously, don't worry about it.
Definitely.
I've broken many streams.
That's just teasing, right? I think one of the big things over the trade period is what happens with these GWS players. You've got Peatling. Who's the other player, Joe, that people are looking for as well? Number 30, not 37, number 20. No, he's 20. 37, Perryman.
Perryman?
Cummings already gone off to Adelaide. So I think Perryman as well. There's a few players that GWS might lose across the line. So those kind of players, I think, that are the ones that are going to shape things and might end up providing some big value for us in Supercoach next year, because they're going to be underpriced. Maybe they're not playing. We'll see what happens.
What? What's this? Can't count that high.
How many sessions have you broken?
I don't know. Many a session has been broken.
It's just what happens.
It's what happens. But look, technically now, that was our last. This has been our last live stream immediately after a game of footy from the men's.
Yep.
So for that, a massive thank you to all of you incredible boys and girls for joining us throughout this very long AFL men's season. Smashed out so much content in the preseason, and then ended up going through every single week during 2024, and really wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for you guys constantly coming in and really making such an incredible, wholesome chat with banter and supporting each other and answering each other's questions. It's, you guys have honestly made 2024 has been an absolute shocker for me from the Supercoach / fantasy point of view. Absolute shocker. But I had such a blast, and I'm so glad that you guys also enjoyed it as well and stuck around this far.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we look back at where the channel was this time last year, 1,000 subs, probably not putting out as much as we needed, and not having the live streams. I mean, we've had a pretty consistent group of people. It has fallen off, obviously, when Supercoach hasn't been on, but, we've had our consistent group of people and just growing that throughout the year. I mean, what we'll see, hopefully, Joe, that we'll stick around for another 5 weeks at AFLW, and, at least next week and whatnot, we can include some trade news and things like that in the streams and keep you guys around. But it's been bloody amazing, and, something to look forward to a couple of times a week, especially the drive home on Thursdays. A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's been a ripper. The Thursday night drive homes, and I know a lot of people, especially early on, used to love watching us actually be driving.
Yep.
And so just hope that no police officers are subscribers here. But thanks, guys, so much. thanks Shawnee, Gorn, Velo, you know,
Jen's always been on every week. Yeah, a few of the other fans as well, and
of course,
been great.
So many people, but yeah, just a massive thank you to you guys. Looking forward to seeing you on Thursday, and we're going to start to direct some of the some more attention now into maybe the draft that's coming up. I don't know if we're going to do a live stream of the draft or something, and sort of.
Well, we might have something on Fancast as well, so we'll see if that ties in.
Correct.
Ties in with that as well.
That was a great idea when you started the drive-by.
Well, there you go.
It's a great idea until you get caught by cops and then you have to pay a massive fine.
You have to explain. Oh, sorry, guys.
Oh, imagine you kept the stream going. You're like, oh, yes, hello, officer. Say hello to...
Dashcam live stream.
Exactly.
At least you'd go viral, right? I mean, people would come on there and watch it every week just to see what happens. So,
yeah. Rather than saying I'm waiting for a mate, you can say I'm literally talking to some mates.
Yeah, done.
All right. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your week. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday. And as always,
guys, here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work, so you guys don't have to. It's going to be a great preseason. We're going to smash it again. Going to be a great October, everything. November, cool. November, we go slow. November's like, spend a night on the draft, give you guys a break. We need a break. Yeah, outside of that, here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work, so you guys don't have to. Catch you later. Maybe we'll have some merch heading into the new year. We'll just figure that kind of stuff out.
You really want merch. Bloody hell.
You think it'd be nice. We'll see what happens. See what happens. Maybe turn up to the football one day and someone's got your beanie on, you know. See what happens. Yeah.
My face
all right, catch you guys. We'll see you on Thursday. Have a good week. Stay tuned.
See you.